What strikes me in terms of a good example in my experience of a buy-in was rugby around 2000, from 2007 to 2010. World rugby, New Zealand are always the market leaders, and they've always played quite, high tempo, attack-based style. Not a high risk, but a real emphasis on skill, on pace in the game, and playing to space. But they hadn't won a World Cup for about 20 years. And everyone was sort of saying, well, it's because, they're not used to knockout rugby where we are here, where it's all about defences and set piece and, minimise the pressure on yourself, low risk rugby, if you like, and squeeze the life out of teams. And it was 2011 where Harlequins, we played a similar sort of style. We like to play at high tempo, high pace, and clearly there's risks with that. You're going to turn the ball over and give opportunities to the opposition more than if you were safety first. But that was our philosophy. And everyone bought into it. And we had the European Challenge Cup final in 2011. We'd beaten Munster away in the semi-final, which was a really, really significant victory. And we were playing the final. We were dreadful. We were dreadful in the final. We were probably the better side in the first half, but maybe 3 points up. Second half, we just couldn't get out of our own half. We couldn't catch the ball. No one was playing well. And we were 6 points down. I just remember turning around to the team. We just conceded a penalty to go at 18-12 down, I think it was at the time. Just said, lads, all we got to do is score a try. As much as we've been rubbish and hopeless, all we got to do is score a try. Focus your minds. Let's get the ball back next time. Accuracy, look after it, be precise with it. No 50-50s. And we managed to get the ball back, went through the phases, few offloads going to hand, 80-20 offloads. And eventually it was a bit of magic and a bit of a lucky bounce, actually, which created the try. And we converted the try to win the game. And I think when you have the rewards that are so massive in terms of winning trophies, the belief, goes up tenfold, 20-fold. Suddenly, it doesn't matter when you're put in those pressure situations. So winning that in 2011, and then later on in 2011, New Zealand finally won the World Cup after 24 years. Now, the final was a pretty dour affair, but the way they played and their philosophy. So suddenly you had, right, we won that tournament, they won that tournament, playing a rugby that was never, a lot of people thought, well, you can't play like that in knockout and finals and semi-finals, things like that. And we continued playing the style we did the following year. And, we went on a 12-game winning run on the back of, winning a trophy at the end of the previous season. And, confidence grows and, guys, you do get injured and and when you're winning, you can afford to sort of rest maybe players and bring other players in, which helps with, what we were talking about earlier, creating that strength in depth in terms of performance. And we won the league. We won the Premiership that year. And we won it playing a brand of rugby no one else was playing the Premiership, high tempo, high skill level, keeping the ball alive. And I think that period is probably most significant in my career in terms of a group of players buying into something. But actually, you know what? We got the results and we did it our way.
Yeah.
But there's probably many sides that, yes, that's all very well because you won stuff. But there's many sides that probably did it their way, but didn't win stuff. But I'd be interested to know, I'll tell you what, well, how long did they actually try, and play that way after they failed? Because you're not going to be successful straight away. There's going to be, a lot of roadblocks along the way, a lot of failures in order to get your success. But I think where people fall down, if everyone buys into, whatever you want to do in business, this is the way forward, this is how we're going to grow and everything, is, look, you are going to get stumbling blocks and you just got to get over them, get back up, learn from it. Don't make the same mistake, or, if you come across that, you've got the experience to be able to deal with it, and eventually the fruits of your labour will tell.
So I'm picking up on the various different points there, which is quite interesting. So one is, you're an experienced troop at that point, and you may be playing a way that's different, but it sounds like exciting rugby, probably engaging to be part of, engaging to watch, and gets the emotion flowing. But that alignment around this is the way we're going to play, guys, everyone buying into that, and then just practice and belief until you start to get the wins, and refining it and working out how to get. So there's persistence is in there as well, isn't it? It's keeping each other going through the hard times and getting the persistence.
In sport, you live for the highs. You live for the highs, and there's more lows than there are highs, whether it be injury, selection, and certainly losses. And you've got to ride it. You've got to ride it. And, you've got to be a strong enough character. And they're usually the ones that persevere in terms of longevity in their careers and success in their careers. I mean, you look at England now, how well they're doing under Eddie Jones. You know, they had the failure of the World Cup in 2015. For 4 Six Nations, they came second. Never won the Six Nations, which England, to be honest, should be winning the Six Nations at least once every 3 years, if not, twice every 3 years. And you've got a group of players that are hurt by that, driven by that, but also they've learned massive things from that experience. Allied to coaches coming, giving them a lot of belief, and now, they haven't changed much in terms of how they play. A little bit of tinkering here and there because you've got a new guy at the helm, but a lot of the sort of fundamentals are still in place, and you start to get results. You start to get those wins, especially those tight wins. Those wins in the last 10 minutes, against the odds. Those away victories. It's the away ones that really matter. Going into, someone else's backyard where, you got no one but the 15 guys on the field and your backroom staff and a few guys on the bench, really. And when you pull out those victories, it really does show, tremendous spirit and resolve. And, you feed off that. And the week goes quick and you can't wait for the next game. And, there's special moments in sport. And they don't happen to a lot of teams.
No.
Only one in his top, can't they, really? And,
yeah.
The rest of them, they're scrapping to try and find that consistency.
Yeah, and what I really like about what you're saying is that I guess not everyone's going to survive on the team because you've got to knuckle down and be persistent and stick with it. Everyone that's on there is going to stick with it. But actually putting the time and energy into creating that team spirit is one way of tackling the resilience of the individual, because you help each other, you encourage each other. There's a sense of united purpose. I think in business you can have a team which is in a space, but there's no united culture. They're all kind of working in their own box, doing their own task, and they might go out for lunch and stuff like that. But there isn't that leadership of the group that's pulling them together towards the wins and getting the momentum, getting the energy. And what I'm hearing from you is when you get that and you work together and you create that sense of working on the same purpose, working together, the sense of connection, it generates an energy, and the energy is bringing more power into it. And I totally believe in that. I think that we see it all the time where, like, maybe I'm not confident and not on my top form, so having a down day or a worse day. Do I feel confident enough to charge what I should charge when I'm out pitching for new business? And a colleague will come and say, do you know what, Nick, that's a great solution. You should charge X for that. And that's gives you the confidence factor when you've got a colleague saying that to just go for it. And I almost feel like when you've got the energy for it, you'll punch it harder, you'll push it harder, you'll go for it more, because the encouragement and the energy is there from the shared emotion. And it is really powerful. And then when you're even in a group, you can be really lonely, right? You can be quite isolated, and that just undermines your own performance. You
definitely need that support. You need that support throughout, because otherwise, are you pulling in the same direction? You don't really know, do you? I think in whichever sort of organisation you're referring to.